Harry here, this is Lord Potato, and this is, well, what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Kokushibo, part 5. Now, I did this like 2 months ago, I think it was in November or something, but yeah. Now, since I'm basically doing I'm gonna be trying to do 4 what if today. What time is it? Okay, maybe 4 maybe 4 videos today, but I don't know. It's snowing and it's kind of annoying because it's kind of a little bright outside, and I also want to go play outside, but it's already like 11 or something, and yeah, not trying to wake up my parents, but not the point. So we go into, well, not a recap because I'm lazy as fuck, and yeah, if you want to know what happened last time, go rewatch part 4. But I just don't feel like doing it, okay? I don't want to do a recap. So we go into Naruto. He's actually going against someone named Hanzo. Now, I did talk about his flames, and yeah. So, of course, this is where, well, Hanzo is seeing Kokushibo, also known as Naruto Uzumaki. Now, of course, this is where Hanzo says, this battle's gonna be so easy. He smiles creepily at Naruto, and this is where the proctor says, "Are you ready?" This is where Hanzo nodded, smiling creepily, and Naruto just nodded his head once. So of course this is where Hanzo says, "You're a stoic one, aren't you?" This is where he rushes at Naruto and saying, "Then die like a stoic one." This is where when it was about he has a tanto that he covered with black flames. Well, sort of black flames. I'm gonna just say they're kind of like a little bit reddish flames, a little bit. Now, these reddish flames were on the sword, and of course, this is where Hanzo says, "Die." This is where Naruto dodges, but for some reason gets a fragment of a memory, and he just grabs his head, saying, "What was that?" He gets a fragment of his memory of his brother, his twin brother, Yoriichi? Something like that. So, of course, his twin brother being the sun-breathing user, yeah, while he's the moon-breathing user. But yeah, this is where Naruto says, interesting. This is where, well, Hanzo keeps trying to slash at Naruto, but Naruto's easily dodging his attacks, and seeing that Hanzo's just swinging randomly, well, somewhat. It looks like Hanzo is trying to confuse him with swings. This is where Naruto, he pulls out his sword and says moon-style breathing. This is where he says moon-style breathing, third form, change. And he just slashes 2 moon crests, well, from the sword and all that, and multiple other, smaller moon crests appears, and just went straight to Hanzo. Hanzo saw this, and he could not react fast enough. So, of course, he got 2 giant slashes in his chest, and of course multiple cuts all around. He just started bleeding, and of course he just ain't laughing. Oh, you're pretty strong, aren't you? What was that? That wasn't normal chakra or anything like that. Naruto didn't say anything, and this is where Hanzo says, "I guess you don't want to talk." So he rushes at Naruto, making 5 fire clones and rushing at Naruto, and Naruto sees that, well, Hanzo's also in the crowd, rushing at Naruto, and Naruto, he just says, "Moon style, 15 form, full moon," and this is where, around him, a full moon crest appears, and this is where he uses his sword to just, well, slash around him to make a full moon crest. And of course, a storm around him, like a bunch of crests of moon, actually appears to, well, defend him. And of course, cut anything that's, well, trying to attack him. So of course, this is where Hanzo does get cut. And he says, "Ah!" And also his clones are all disappearing. So yeah, they all go into fire clones. But of course, don't affect Naruto. Naruto says, Moon Star, dark, what's it called, first form, dark something. This is where he rushes and just slashes Hanzo's head off, killing him. So Hanzo never actually knew that Naruto's Nine Tails. No one knows that he's the Nine Tails. Naruto's too stoic and too much of a god to be the Nine Tails. Oh yeah, people don't really know. This is where the Proctor, he was not fast enough to stop him. Stop Naruto from killing him. Well, Horizon kind of noticed that Naruto was going to do something like this, but he already know he was too kind of slow to even stop Naruto. Everyone was horrified, even some of the rain ninjas that were, on Hanzo's team and all that. A girl with kind of like, how should I say, purplish hair was horrified, and the other guy, who was actually I said actually twice. He's actually Hidan's disciple, so he's another Joshinus. He was kind of shocked that Hanzo died. But yeah, this is where Naruto, he just walked up and kind of sat away from everyone else. So where the Proctor says, okay, the next match is this, this, and this, and this, and this, and yeah, it's basically the same. But this is where it was called the Joshinus, who is basically the disciple of Hidan, like fights against one of the Leaf Ninjas, easily kills him. And of course, the purple haired girl, she fights against what's it called, Tamari. Actually, not Tamari. She fights against what's called Tenten, and she easily just cripples Tenten. Tenten, she was using weapons, while the purple hair girl can actually deflect all weapons away from her. It's like a barrier jutsu, and when those weapons collide with that barrier, they just go back faster than, well, the normal speed, and hits the previous, well, the user who was actually using those weapons. So yeah, of course she wins, and she just smiles creepily, and of course Tenten's crippled right now. So yeah, what's it called? Tamari, she went against someone else, but yeah. Now, of course, is where, well, Hinata is still going against Neji, and Neji still won against Hinata, and Neji was about to kill Hinata, and Naruto didn't say anything, he just didn't care. The reason why, he really didn't care. Now, I should mention who was Kiba going against. Kiba, I'm gonna have to do him dirty like this, because I truly don't like him that much, but he was going against with the Gaara, while Rock Lee went against someone else. And Rip Kiba, he got fucked up. He got fucked up worse than Rock Lee. Yeah, Kiba was crippled. But yeah, Rock Lee on the other hand, he fought against and still won pretty easily. But yeah, this is where the matches are going. Not Naruto. Kokushibo Uzumaki versus Gaara. What's Gaara's last name? No way. Let me actually think about it. Gaara Sabaku versus Kokushibo Uzumaki in the final exam. What's it called? Neji versus Rock Lee. Next is Sasuke versus Sis, and yeah, you get the point. Sasuke is actually fighting against, well, this person named, the Hidan disciple, his name is what's it called? Haifo. And of course, Haifo is going against Sasuke. The girl is going against what's called Tamari. And Tamari's what's it called? Sabaku versus the girl's name is what's it called? Her name is Najina. And of course, wait, Najina or let me think of something. Actually, you want to call her Shumare instead. So yeah. So her name is Sumare because she has purple hair. So of course, this is where all the other matches are basically the same, but yeah. So of course, Shikamaru is going against, well, Shino instead of what's called Tamari. But yeah, this is where what's called. Everyone nods, and this is where Horizon says you all have one time and all that. 1 month time skip and blah blah blah. This is where Naruto noticed Orochimaru. And Orochimaru was going to try to get to Sasuke and all that. And, well, Kakashi didn't seal his seal away first when he kind of saw the match and all that. This is where everyone is leaving, but this is where Naruto takes moon breathing style. Dark form. And this is where he takes first form and saw Orochimaru and cuts his head off. This is where Orochimaru's head starts flying. And, of course, everyone is shocked. This is where Harusen says, Naruto! Naruto grabbed his head and ripped off the skin and says, this is not Orochimaru. This is where Harusen says, wait, how the hell did you know? Easy. I have my chakra. Usually some of my blood got on Orochimaru, and yeah, I killed him. Done. Can I get the money now? Harusen says, sure, you know what, fuck it. This is where everyone's shocked. They're like, holy shit, Orochimaru is dead. Even what's called the sound ninjas that was, well, there, and also Kabuto is shocked. Orochimaru is dead. This is where, like, Anbus appear and grab Kabuto and says, you are under arrest also for being with Orochimaru. And this is where Kabuto says, no! He's been taken away. And of course, this is where Naruto says, very interesting. We're all just weak. This is where, well, he takes Harusen's head, or not Harusen's head, I mean Orochimaru's head towards Harusen, and Harusen says, don't worry, I'll pay you when you get to the office. This is where Naruto nods and disappears in a moon body flicker. So yeah, everyone is shocked, and they are wondering, well, Kakashi's wondering, this kid is not Gen level. He's actually wanting to ask, well, Harusen, what this kid's rank could actually really be. And of course, this is where Harusen disappears and says, all of you can leave. This is where he told Anbus to tell what's it called, to leave the Death Forest, and yeah. This is where, well, Anko was there, and she was horrified to see her old sensei just cut down like an animal by just this one kid. And this one kid just showed no mercy. His eyes was blank. He didn't care. This is where Gaara saw this, and Gaara was terrified of the match when he was going against Naruto. For some reason, he's feeling fear. He's right now overheating. And of course, he clutches his chest, and this is where Tamari and, well, Conqueror notices, and they say, Gaara, are you okay? Gaara says, I don't want to fight him. Monster. Demon. Now, of course, he's not wrong with Naruto being a demon. But not a demon that everyone should expect. So yeah, Naruto, he gets to Harusen's like office, and this is what Harusen says. Okay, Orochimaru's bounty was gonna be like 1 billion. Since you kill him, you get the money. Here you go. That's where Naruto nodded and says, thank you, what's it called, Hokage-sama? That's where Harusen says, wait, Naruto, what are you gonna do in this 1 month? That's where Naruto says, train my sword technique, and also reform and become stronger in my techniques. I'm not just gonna be wasting time. I don't need a sensei at all. That's where Harusen says, what about chakra and all them other things? Naruto says, I'm a swordsman, not a chakra. I'm not a, what's it called? I don't use chakra. This is where Harusen says, even though you don't use chakra, in that body flicker, you seem to use chakra a little bit. To use a body flicker. Naruto smiles and says, it seems that you found out, Harusen. I've been practicing a little bit to how to use chakra. This is where Harusen nods and says, well, Naruto, I might have a sensei for you to train under. Naruto says, how long would he be here? In 3 days. I think so. This is where Naruto nodded, and this is where Naruto disappears. And this is where we go into 3 days time skip, and Naruto returns. Of course, he's kind of sweating a little bit because he was trained before coming here. Or coming to the office of Harusen. But yeah. This is where, well, Naruto knocks at the door very polite. Like, very, polite. And this is where Harusen says, come in. This is where Naruto walks in and sees Jiraiya, but ignores him. This is where Naruto says, I am here for my sensei. I hope he can train me in chakra. If not, then this be just a pointless effort to try and train me. This is where Jiraiya says, who is this kid exactly? This is where Harusen says, Jiraiya, meet Naruto Uzumaki, also known as, well, his new name, Kokushibo Uzumaki. This is where Jiraiya widened his eyes and says, wait. And he thinks in mind, wait, Minato's son? Wait, did he change his name? But why? This is where Jiraiya says, this is Naruto? Are you sure? Why does his hair red and his eyes are red? Horuzen says it looks like a mutation happened between his original look like. So he kind of showed Jiraiya an old image of how he looked like. Blonde hair, blue eyes, whisker marks. And now he tells Naruto that this is how Naruto looks like. Red hair, red eyes, and sunburn marks on his face and all. And of course Naruto kind of wearing purple and all. And of course, well, Jiraiya is shocked. Of course, you also see the sword that Naruto has, and also Naruto has what's it called, this sword, in well his back, because Naruto was also trained with that sword, using chakra, because the Nine Tails actually does help him out in how to use chakra, because he wants his container to be very strong. Well, not container, his vessel, Naruto, to be strong. So, of course, this is where Naruto, he doesn't really use the Nine Tails power that much unless it's very necessary. But yeah, also, Kurama does know about Naruto's demon mode and how Naruto acts, and yeah. But yeah, this is where Naruto is just standing there with kind of a blanket shook a little bit. And this is where Jiraiya says he has no emotion. He looks at Horuzen. Horuzen says, Naruto never had that much emotion. Ever since the change, he has been more quiet and very, very quiet and stealthy. This is where Jiraiya says, would it be able to get him the spirit up? You can try. Horuzen says, you can try. Also, Jiraiya, don't piss him off, because I think he can definitely kill Asani. This is where Jiraiya chuckles and says, kill Asani? Yeah, right. I would love to see that one time. Just one time. That's where Horuzen says, oh, you want to see that? Fine. He pulls out a scroll. Like, poof out what's in the scroll. And this is where Jiraiya sees the head of Orochimaru. He says, what's a Orochimaru? But Horuzen says, yep, Naruto killed Orochimaru. And, well, it kind of preliminary rounds of the chunin when it was the end. Naruto knows that this was Orochimaru kind of trying to hide as a jonin for some sound ninjas. And Naruto killed him. So, Jiraiya, do you really want to piss off someone that can kill your old teammate if that was stronger than you? Jiraiya goes pale and looks at Naruto. Naruto's still looking with pale. Well, not pale, he was just looking blankly. And of course, where Jiraiya says, you can't be serious. If he's that strong, why isn't he just ranked up to chunin? That's where Horuzen says, that is true. He just asked. I did ask him two choices. I could either give him the test of, becoming a chunin, or I can let him go into the chunin exam. He picked going to chunin exam. Jiraiya says, that's terrifying. Okay. Damn, he's gonna destroy everyone. Why is he just training more? Like I forgot to mention, he's a swordsman, so he wants to perfect his techniques and his sword skill. This is where Naruto says, and also my chakra. Since I never used my chakra, it's just there, kind of being a waste. And his chakra. This is where, Jiraiya says, chakra. I can teach you some jutsus. Naruto says, it's unnecessary. I just want to learn how to chakra control. Jutsus are just a waste. This is where Jiraiya says, it didn't use chakra against Orochimaru. Horuzen says, nope, not at all. He simply just cut his head off using the technique. And this is where Jiraiya says, he just looks at Naruto, looks at Horuzen, and says, I need sake. This is where Horuzen says, yeah, I also got a bottle of sake. Then they just start both drinking. Naruto's there just sitting, well, not even sitting, he's just standing there, blanky, looking at them, confused. And this is where Kurama says, man, I want myself some sake. Naruto, I need you to ask if you can get some sake. Naruto says, I'm too young. This is where Kurama says, no, Naruto, you gotta get some sake. I don't give two fucks if you're 12, okay? Get yourself some sake. Naruto says, I'm still too young. And I don't think my young body can be able to hold that. The drink without passing out and dying or something. This is where Kurama says, nah. You have me inside you. You need, what's it called, to have a little bit of fun, Naruto. Naruto says, fun? What is fun? Kurama says, fuck, right. Naruto does not know anything about fun, since he has mostly Kokushibo's sort of personality a little bit. But yeah. This is where he just ignores it. From the Nine Tails, it just blocks him, and of course is where Kurama says, did he mind block me? No, Naruto, listen to me! Of course, Naruto really can't hear Kurama, because Naruto really just blocked him from his mind, so he wouldn't need to hear Kurama kind of scream and talk about he wants sake. So of course is where Naruto, he just stands there for 30 minutes. Sees how Haruka and Jiraiya be acting like when they actually drink for sake for 30 minutes. Kind of normal. 45 minutes, kind of acting drunk. An hour being very drunk. And well, 2 hours passed out. 3 hours still passed out. 4, 5, 6 still passed out. Naruto is not even affected by the sleep loss he's actually doing. He's just standing there for a while. And of course, almost are shocked how Naruto is just standing there and seeing the Hokage and the legendary Sannin and hasn't really gave up and just walked away. He just standing there, still emotionless and still not caring that much. And this is where, like, 10 hours later, this is where both of them woke up and says, what just happened? They look up and see Naruto still just standing there blankly. Some dust might have fell on his head and all that. And this is where, well, Haruzen says, Naruto, how long were you standing there for? Naruto counts and says, well, 45 to 1 hour you were both drunk. After like 2 to 3 hours, you both just pass out. 10 hours in total, this is when you woke up. And yeah, that's what Jiraiya says. He's kind of creepy now that I think about it. Haruzen says, the problem with him, he doesn't know how to, well, talk to people that much or anything at all. He has his own goals and dreams. He doesn't care about anyone else. Well, he doesn't really know any other personality. You can try to change him. I'm not going to try to change him because he is going to pull the sword on you if you piss him off enough. He has a trigger motion. Jiraiya says, oh, great. This is going to take forever. He says, okay, Naruto, let's go. Wait, he looks outside and says, it's dark, and says, never mind, let's just go home, okay? You go home and take a sleep or whatever. This is where he says, I need an ice pack. So yeah, Naruto disappears with a moon body flicker. And this is where Jiraiya is surprised and says, okay, this is going to be a long month. So we go into a week time skip. Now, Jiraiya has been trying to teach Naruto how to, well, tree climb, because Naruto did already know how to tree climb because of Kurama. Water walk, he already knows how to do that. And of course, this is where Jiraiya decides to give him a leaf and says, cut that with your own chakra, because that's another advanced chakra control type. So that's what Naruto's doing. And of course, he's trying to cut the leaf, and by concentrating. This is where he managed to cut the leaf, but this is where Kurama gives him a better way to be able to concentrate in cutting with his own chakra. This is where he tells Naruto to meditate. So yeah. So where, well, Naruto just starts meditating, feeling his chakra all around his body and all that. And of course, this is where he kind of just picks the leaf up and starts trying to channel chakra and all that. And of course, he can feel it like cutting it. But of course, this is where his chakra isn't blue, it's white. Because of like a moon and all that. Now, of course, this is where he cuts it. And then he moves on to cutting more leaves and trying to master up this hold chakra control while meditating and cutting leaves. And this is where Jiraiya is impressed that he's seeing this. Now, Naruto, he decides to open his eyes and cut a leaf with just channeling chakra and all that, and he cuts it pretty easily. Jiraiya is just shocked, and of course, where he says, and he knows that the control chakra control. Okay. This is where Naruto, he pulls a sword that was behind him and goes to a tree, and this is where he channels chakra. Now, the chakra color of Naruto is actually silverish, kind of white, like a moon, or like the moon, not like a moon, like the moon, kind of colorish color. And of course, this is where Naruto slices at the tree and cuts it in half. Jiraiya says, "Ah, okay, he knows how to channel chakra into his sword." Ah, terrifying. That's where he asks Naruto if he wants to learn a summoning contract. Naruto not like shakes his head saying no, because that's basically a waste of time. If he decides to learn a summoning contract, that's a waste of chakra because he's mostly a swordsman. So where, well, Jiraiya says, but summoning a total contract will allow you to be able to do a lot of things. Naruto shakes his head still, saying this no is pointless, and well, he just wants to learn more chakra techniques and control. Well, because not chakra techniques, but mostly just chakra control. This is where Jiraiya says fine, because Naruto has tons and tons of chakra, he knows about it. Even though if he just spams multiple clones, he'd be able to defeat people with his own techniques. But he just wants to learn how to use chakra for his blaze, so he can cut through people easier. But yeah, as if well, Jiraiya just decided to teach the whole month and how to use his chakra, how Naruto can use his chakra. No techniques. Now, of course, Naruto still kind of knows the shadow clone and all that, because Hiruzen did kind of gave him how to use it. Naruto looked it over and saw it's pretty easy. And of course, he saw that, well, the shadow clones can actually help him in perfecting his techniques. While Jiraiya was trying to train him with what's called other jutsus, Naruto didn't care and just used, well, chakra control. And did use clones to be far away from their training spots, to kind of be far away from Jiraiya and all them, and Naruto, the original Naruto, so they can train in, well, using their own techniques to perfect it. So the shadow clones can do that. Now, of course, where Naruto, he's learning how to do, well, just use chakra on his blade and all that, and yeah. And other things. So yeah. So, of course, he's just trying to master his chakra because he has tons and tons and tons. If he masters his chakra, he'd be able to be already chunin level. And it'd be kind of scary because he wouldn't need to waste that much chakra on one jutsu if he's already mastering his chakra. Mastering his chakra to an extent like a Hyuga, since the Hyugas, they have over control of their chakra. And that's what Naruto's trying to do. But Naruto actually has it more advanced than a normal Hyuga. So yeah. So this is where, well, Naruto, after, well, the 1 month, he goes into the chunin exam. But Naruto did kind of bump into one person, and that was Sumire. He bumped into Sumire when he was like going to go get some food and all that. And ignored Jiraiya complaining and crying, and also Jiraiya kind of drinking sake the whole month because he became an alcoholic, because how Naruto just ignores him for jutsus and all that. Naruto just wants to learn his mastery over his chakra. Jiraiya thinks it's a great idea, but without jutsus, it's kind of pointless. And Naruto just said it's better to see one goal and then do another goal. Now, Jiraiya is so confused with Naruto because Naruto, even though he's like 12 or something, or 13 mostly, or 12 if you want to get the point, he talks like a sage, like he has already done this before. No, not really, just Naruto's kind of very, not wise, like his brother, I forgot what it was called, Kokushibo's brother, but yeah. But Naruto just got very wise over the years, even though his brother died, because he killed him. Kokushibo did kill his brother. So yeah. This is where, well, Naruto, he's very saddened of, well, Yoriichi or whatever, because he actually didn't kill him and all. But yeah. Now, of course, this is where we go into Naruto going to get his food. This is where Naruto bumps into Sumire, and Sumire is from the Rain Village and all. And this is where, well, her teammate, what's called Haishin, is right now just running around and trying to get food. And also thinking of who he can sacrifice. This is where Naruto bumps into her in an accident. And of course, this is where Sumire looks up and sees it's Naruto. Well, the kid that fucked up Orochimaru's head and also, well, fucked up one of her teammates, Hanzo mostly. And this is where she glares at him. And Naruto, he ignores her. This is where she kind of just grabs him from the arm and says, "Where do you think you're going? Are you just going to ignore me? Is it because we're from the Rain Village and we're just, well, a small place?" Naruto says, "I'm not ignoring you because you're just from a small place. You're probably you're probably twice as stronger than any of the other Genins. God, the Konoha 12 are just a bunch of idiots." This is where she kind of realized how Naruto talks about the other ninjas. And this is where she kind of, like, what's called, blushes a little bit because of Naruto praising her. And this is where Naruto says, "Your techniques are pretty good, and how to use, well, things to deflect, like, attacks from, well, enemies. It'd be kind of be strong enough to be able to block a Biju bomb if you train it enough." This is where she kind of says thank you for advice and all that, but she's very quiet. And of course, you can't really hear her because she's bright red like Hinata. But Hinata never had a crush on Naruto. Because Naruto, he was always, well, she did, but when Naruto changed, she kind of stopped. She was kind of sad. But yeah, Naruto just really never cared. Now, of course, since Naruto's Kokushibo, he just ignores her. So yeah. So, of course, Naruto doesn't really care about anyone. He doesn't care about emotions, he doesn't care about love or anything like that. Since, wait. So, of course, she is not the ship, okay? I remember that I mentioned that this series doesn't have a ship or anything like that, so yeah. So, of course, she's only just getting praise because, yeah. Naruto doesn't see like praise or anything. He just kind of telling her that it's pretty good and decent and probably be able to block a Biju bomb from probably the One Tails. That's what Naruto was trying to explain, but of course she ran away thinking that, well, yeah. Naruto ignores her and just walks away. Went to go get food, and yeah. Of course, this is where he met the other, well, member of, well, Sumire. And of course, this is where, well, Hayashin just says, "So, are you saying that you know about Bijus? Could that mean you're Jinchuriki?" This is where he rushes at Naruto and says, "Let me show you what to sacrifice. I will sacrifice you to Lord." This is where his head just flies off. And yeah, Naruto seals it off and his body just stops moving. But yeah, Naruto takes his head off because he knows he's immortal. Somewhat semi-immortal. This is where he says, "Well, I guess some idiot tries to attack me. Whatever." Naruto says, "How am I gonna like seal him off? Well, bring him back later. Probably, I wouldn't care that much." This is where he walks away and just goes to get food finally. He gets food, he goes back home, and yeah. With that happening, he is now what's called, we go into the 1 month, and we go into the final tuning exam. So the final tuning exams are contained of what Naruto going against Gaara first. Naruto's there super earlier than everyone. And of course, Hiruzen's kind of disturbed how Naruto's really early. But yeah. Of course, this is where Jiraiya's kind of crying because, well, he kind of just explains to Hiruzen that he did nothing but just train Naruto in chakra control. Hiruzen says, no, he actually has the right point. If he ever wanted to learn any jutsus, his chakra He doesn't need to waste that much chakra like any normal other ninja. Very interesting. So how the level of mastery did he got the chakra control? That's where Hiruzen, well not Hiruzen, Jiraiya says that he has mastery up beyond a Hyuga. Jiraiya was, well not Jiraiya, Hiruzen was kind of impressed and says that's pretty good. So where we go into Naruto. He is going against Gaara, and Gaara is like horrified. He's like terrified. He was terrified for the whole month. He doesn't want to go against Naruto. But of course his father did kind of force him into still going into the fight in the chunin sense. So yeah. This is where Naruto sees, well, Gaara, and Gaara is terrified. Shikaku, he doesn't really want to help Gaara. And of course the reason why is because he has a bad feeling about Naruto. And Naruto is looking at Gaara. Now Naruto didn't put out his what they call sword. The sword and all that. This sword and all. He used this sword instead. He turns into a scythe and rushes at it. Well, when the proctor says begin the match, and this is where it's Gemma. The other guy still died because of Baki, but yeah. Because Naruto didn't help anyone, he doesn't care about anyone. So of course he is now fighting against Gaara. Of course he tries to cut what they call Gaara. Gaara tries to use sand barrier to try to block it. But of course it gets cut down because Naruto's scythe has chakra on it. Silver chakra being able to cut down anything. That's where Gaara tries multiple times with his sand but keeps getting cut down. And Naruto, he rushes at Gaara and tries to cut him down. And of course Gaara manages to dodge. He says, damn it, this guy's difficult. Very difficult. This is where, well, the fight is going on multiple times. While, well, we go into the Hokage, not Hokage office. The Hokage booth. What's it called? Gaara's father, I forgot his name. I think it was... I forgot his name. He's there in the Hokage booth with what's called Hiruzen. And also what's called Mei is watching this because Mei is also there. But yeah. Now, I should mention that what's it called, well, Zabuza is here with what's it called, his son, what's it called, Haku. But yeah, Haku's right now just being a Miss Ambu for, well, Mei. But yeah. This is where everyone's seeing the fight between Gaara and, well, Kokushibo. Because that's how most people know about him. And of course, this is where Naruto, he cuts down what's it called, well, he managed to slice out what's it called, Gaara's like chest and all that, and he's bleeding. He's like, this is blood. But this is where he can't transform. He realized that, what's it called, Shikaku is terrified. He doesn't want to go out. This is where he says, Shikaku, get out here. Shikaku says, no, I'm not going out there. He's terrifying. This is where he says, I can't fight him. This is where he looks at the proctor and says, I give up. This is where, well, Gaara's father is furious and angry. But of course, it's Tamari and Conqueror thought that's what's called Gaara was going insane. But Gaara never went insane the entirety of, like, fighting against people. And, well, not fighting against people, but kind of, like, in the 1 month. But yeah. Now, Baki didn't talk to Kabuto in the 1 month and all, because Kabuto was arrested. Yep, simple as that. And since Orochimaru is dead, the Sound Ninjas, they actually retreated. So yeah. But of course, the Sand Ninjas still wanted to attack somewhat. They still want to run the fade with, well, the Leaf Village. This is where, well, how should I say? So, of course, this is where, well, Gaara gave up, and of course, well, the different matches continue and all. This is where Neji goes against Rock Lee, and Rock Lee actually managed to defeat Neji and tells him that hard work all matters. So, yeah. This is where Neji's angry, but then he just says, fine. This is where next, it is Tamari versus, what's it called, Samari. And of course, Samari actually loses to Tamari because Tamari uses Winjutsu, and Samari can only deflect physical attacks, not chakra attacks. So of course she actually gets killed by Tamari, because Tamari's kind of furious at Naruto for hurting her little brother and actually scaring him. But yeah, this is where, well, Tamari is actually sort of closing her eyes and dying. So yeah, this is where, well, next match it will be with the Cobb. The other match is in, yeah. But of course Naruto's going against Rock Lee, and yeah, of course, this is where I was caught. The Golden Sand User, he kind of had enough of this and tried to attack what's called Hiruzen, because he still wants the sand invasion to happen. And of course, before he even got to attack Hiruzen, this is where he was already put down by Ambus, because, well, Jiraiya did find out about what's called the Sand Village still aligns with the Sound Village. But yeah, this is where I forgot his name, whatever, the Golden Sand User said, I didn't. No. Jiraiya found, well, not Jiraiya, what's it called? They found evidence from Kabuto that they were still aligned the, what's it called, fight. And, well, since now Orochimaru is dead because of Kokushibo, that, well, the alliance kind of break up, and I think the Golden Sand User still wants to fight Torus and all that, and try to kill him. So, yeah. This is where Ambus appear and stop what's called the Golden Sand User, and yeah. Of course, it were, well, the Wind Daimyo and all that, and also the Fire Daimyo, they realized that the Sand Village wanted to, well, what's called, the Sand Village wanted to fight against, well, the Leaf Village, but this is where, of course, Hiruzen stopped it and all that, and yeah. Now, of course, the matches were still continuing, and it is next about what's called Rock Lee versus, well, Naruto. Now, Rock Lee, he only goes into taijutsu, while Naruto uses kenjutsu. This is where Naruto, he rushes at what's called Rock Lee, and of course, they are pretty much equally in speed and all. This is where Naruto uses the first form, and then the third form, and then even the sixth form and all that. So yeah. Of course, this is where Rock Lee does use the gates to fight against Naruto. And of course, this is where Naruto, he activates half demonic form. Well, not even half demonic form. He actually was about to lose until he says 21 form. Red Blood Moon style. And he cuts through what's called Rock Lee super easily, but not killing him. But because he actually has respect for Rock Lee. A man that only has a goal to become stronger in taijutsu. So of course he doesn't really kill Rock Lee. He lets him live. And of course, well, Rock Lee says, how are you this strong? Naruto says, because, just like you, I will just train in only kenjutsu. Because I would rather limit myself. Even if I have chakra. Doesn't matter for anything. That's where Rock Lee smiles, and of course he passes out. This is where, well, sorry about that. This is where, well, Naruto, his next match is Tamari, because Tamari match defeats Shinano, and this is where Tamari says, you bastard, I will kill you because how you hurt my little brother. Naruto easily just said, what's it called? Naruto uses 16th form, Half Moon, and easily just kills her. Because Naruto's not really liking her that much. Because she did try to kill him and all that. And yeah, Naruto showed her what's what, and yeah. But yeah. Wait. So, of course, we go into Naruto. And of course, Naruto, he kills some people. And some people are terrified of Naruto. Some people are kind of like amazed with Naruto. But yeah. But this is where something happens. When Hiruzen stops what's called, well, the Golden Sand User, something happens. A bunch of people with what's called red clouds and what's called sort of like black clouds and red clouds appear, and they say we're here for the Nine Tails. And this is where I'm gonna leave it off. Yes. Have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, and potato. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it off for this. I know some people are gonna hate me because, well, shit. Now, I know next part is actually gonna be the end, but yeah. And that is actually going to come out 2 months later. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know when. But yeah, have a nice potato day. Potato night. Potato seed. Potato, potato.